I found out the truth on a Thursday evening, while reheating leftover lasagna and scrolling through old photos of our engagement trip to Italy. The irony didn't hit me until later. There I was, smiling at my fiancé's sunlit face beside the Trevi fountain, her hand proudly flashing the ring I'd spent 3 months' salary on, while in another corner of the digital world, a different version of her was sending winking selfies to strangers, all because she wanted to see if she still had it. When I met Sophie, she was everything I'd ever wanted, kind, bright, the type of woman who lit up a room without even realizing it. We met in the break room at the marketing firm where I worked. She'd spilled coffee on her blouse and laughed it off with such grace that I couldn't help but fall a little right then. For 3 years we were perfect. Not movie perfect, but real perfect. Late night takeout on the couch, inside jokes that made no sense, a shared dream of buying a little house by the lake someday. When I proposed, she cried. Not a polite, rehearsed kind of cry, real tears. I believed her love was honest. I believed everything was. Until that Thursday. Started small, innocent even. Sophie had been distant for a few weeks. Nothing dramatic, just little changes I chalked up to wedding stress. Shorter hugs. Fewer I love yous. Her phone, once left casually on the counter, now glued to her hand. Then that night while she was in the shower, a notification popped up on her laptop. A message from a man named Eli. Just one line. When's our next game? I wish I'd ignored it. I wish I'd closed the laptop and walked away. But something inside me, a small sharp instinct, wouldn't let it go. I clicked. First it looked harmless. A chat room maybe? But the deeper I scrolled, the more my stomach tightened. The messages weren't about games. They were about testing attraction. About seeing reactions. About just talking, nothing serious. Her profile name was Sweets. The photo wasn't revealing, just a smile, one I knew too well. I kept reading until the words blurred. You're gorgeous, Sophie. You're sweet to say that. Your fiancé's a lucky guy. Maybe. But sometimes I wonder if he still sees me. That one broke me. When she came out of the shower, I was still sitting there. Her laptop open. The messages glowing between us like an open wound. Her face drained of color. Ethan, she whispered, clutching her towel tighter. It's not what it looks like. I let out a bitter laugh. Then what is it, Sophie? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you've been flirting with strangers online while planning our wedding. She swallowed hard, her eyes darting to the screen and then back to me. It wasn't. I didn't mean for it to go that far. It was stupid. A stupid, impulsive thing. I stood up, shaking. Impulsive? You've been messaging this guy for weeks. She broke off, voice trembling. I wanted to know if I still could. If men still found me attractive. Those words hung in the air like poison. You wanted to know if you could still attract men? I repeated slowly. You're engaged, Sophie. You didn't need to prove anything. You already had me. Her eyes filled with tears. I know. I felt invisible lately. You've been so busy with work. And everyone keeps talking about how marriage changes things. I got scared. I needed to feel wanted. I wanted to scream. But all that came out was a whisper. And you needed a stranger for that? She started crying harder. It was never physical. I swear. I would never cheat on you like that. It was just messages. Just a validation. But it didn't matter. Because betrayal isn't just about bodies. It's about breaking trust. And she'd shattered mine. For the next few days I moved through the house like a ghost. She tried to talk. I couldn't. Every time I looked at her I saw the messages. The flirtatious tone. The neediness disguised as innocence. I replayed everything. Our first date, our proposal, the late night whispers of forever. Were they real? Or was this who she'd always been? On the third night she left a note on the counter. Can we please talk when you're ready? I sat across from her at the dining table. Silence stretching between us like an ocean. She looked fragile. Eyes swollen, fingers twisting her engagement ring. I'll do anything to fix this, she said softly. Therapy, honesty, whatever you need. I know I broke your trust, but I love you. I never stopped. Part of me wanted to believe her. To grab her hand and say we'd get through it. But another part, the bruised, bleeding part, couldn't forget the way she'd sought validation from someone else. Do you even understand what you did to me? I asked quietly. I hurt you, she whispered. I made you doubt everything we had. And I hate myself for it. Tears burned my eyes. You didn't just hurt me, Sophie. You made me feel replaceable. She broke down completely. I wasn't thinking clearly. I thought it was harmless. I thought it would make me feel confident again. I stared at her for a long moment, then stood. You wanted confidence. I wanted commitment. Maybe we wanted different things all along. Her voice cracked. Please don't say that. But I didn't reply. A week later, I packed my bags. She stood in the doorway, pale and silent. The morning light made her look almost ghostly, like the version of her I'd loved had already faded away. I never wanted to lose you, she said. You didn't lose me, I said quietly. You threw me away the moment you started needing someone else to tell you your worth. I left the ring on the counter beside her note and walked out. Months have passed since then. People tell me I'll move on, that time heals, that one day I'll love again. Maybe they're right. But sometimes healing doesn't mean forgetting. Sometimes it means accepting that love isn't always enough. I still think about her on quiet nights when the house feels too big, or when a certain song comes on the radio. I wonder if she thinks about me, if she regrets what she lost. I'd like to believe she does. Because in the end, she didn't just lose me. She lost the version of herself who could have been loved completely. And I lost the woman I thought I'd spend forever with. All because she needed to prove something to people who never mattered.